Hey everyone, it's me, Dr. Janet Rourke, coming to you live on June 30th, 2019. So, how's everyone doing today? Let me know as you pop on if you have any questions. I was just at KetoCon all weekend. Big convention for people who do keto. I did keto for a little bit, but I haven't been doing it for a long time. I think I'm going to get back into it though, now that I know all the science behind it. So Carla Ewing has a really good question, and we're going to get into this just a little bit because she says for calming, is the restful blend the best, or just regular lavender? And it depends on the animal. So when it comes to calming, we have a lot of different oils, and a lot of different oils to use. Sorry, I'm reading all the comments as I'm trying to talk. And so what we have going on in Canada tomorrow is Canada Day, and in the U.S. The Thursday is the 4th of July or Independence Day, and so we have a lot of a lot of fireworks going off this time of year, and a lot of animals are fearful of fireworks, or they get nervous and anxious, and so we do have a lot of oils that can really help this time of year for those particular animals, and really all animals, because can't we all use a little bit of calming when all of our neighbors are being crazy, right? So I do have some tips that I want to give you for when there's fireworks. Not all of them are essential oils, but I think they'll be helpful. And I went over this in my membership group in quite detail today as well. So if you're not a part of my membership group, it's $9.99 a month. It's a subscription. You can cancel anytime through PayPal, so you don't even have to tell me about it. And there's a ton of information in there, and it's been up for about a year and a half now. So a year and a half's worth of just posts and things like that, and different things that I recommend, that gets in a little bit more detail than this public page. So let's talk about fireworks. So when there's fireworks, or animals might get scared, sometimes they hide. So here are some tips that I have for the fireworks season, Independence Day. So if you know there's going to be fireworks that night, or even the day before, sometimes people will start shooting them off, right? Or over the weekend. And so this is something to keep in mind the whole time. So what you can do is make sure that your dogs in particular are well exercised. So during the day, take them for a long run, a nice long walk, have them play in the dog park a little bit longer than normal, and make sure they're nice and tired. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, make sure that you, if they do need to go outside when it's dark and there might be fireworks out, that you always use a leash, even if you have a fenced-in yard. A lot of dogs get loose this time of year. They get lost. Make sure they're wearing a collar with a tag on it, just in case they do get scared and run away, so that they can find their way back home to you. So those are a couple of different tips. And then the next thing is making sure that you don't really change your routine at all if you can help it. Now, I know a lot of you guys have activities that you like to do. Maybe you want to go see the fireworks and you have to leave your pets alone at home. And if someone can stay home with them, that's probably the best thing. But if not, try not to change anything too much. So if they're not usually in their kennels when you're gone, don't put them in their kennels. If you know they have to go in their kennels, or they're used to going in their kennels when you're gone, certainly do that. Make sure that they have a nice, safe place to go, a nice, safe place. So a lot of dogs like to hide in the bathtub because it's like quiet and it seems safe. So covering the crate, if you don't normally have the crate covered, covering it with a blanket, like making it a nice little den for them, putting like their favorite bone in there or something like that might be a nice little security thing for them. If you do have to leave, leaving them with some old smelly t-shirts, sweaty t-shirts. I like to use, my husband's in construction, and so I like to use his sweaty white t-shirts. So if my dogs tear those up, it's not a big deal. We can always go to the store and get like 3 for $1 or whatever it is. So so leaving them with your smell is always a good thing. Making sure that you have some noise going on. So if you have like an Alexa or even some music playing over your TV or your computer, whole tones are always really good. There's a whole Spotify channel for whole tones for dogs that works really, really well. A lot of people really like it. Obviously, there's a whole channel on YouTube about it as well. Oops, sorry, I just bumped my table. And then of course we can use oils too, right? So we have lots of calming oils. I really like to use the Restful blend, the calming blend, the grounding blend topically. So I'll put a couple of drops on my hands and then pet the animal all over, and every animal in the home really, because they can feed off of each other. They can also feed off of you. So lather up with some calming oils, because you might be anxious because your animals are anxious, or you think that your animals are going to be anxious, and that just is a vicious cycle, and it feeds you guys feed off of each other, and you're like, my dog's gonna go crazy. I know they're gonna go crazy. Oh my gosh, it's making me so anxious. And then you're anxious and your dog wasn't going to get anxious, but then like they're like, oh my gosh, mom is anxious. There's something wrong. Obviously, I have to be scared too. And then it just becomes this vicious cycle. So slather up, put some, we have the reassuring blend, the comforting blend. There's so many great oils you can use. Vetiver, lavender, cedarwood, all really good choices. Petitgrain is another very calming one. Roman chamomile is a big favorite among a lot of dogs. And so all of those are really good choices. Diffuse your oils. Make sure they have a nice, safe place they can hide if they want to. Distracting them is always a really good option as well. So having some treats and working on some obedience training, making it a fun time instead of a scary time is always a good time. And then maybe if they get like a special, like yummy chew bone or a raw beef bone when there's scary stuff going on. Or there's a really cool brand down here. I'll throw my friend Julia a little shout out here. It's called Pupsicool, and so you can actually she makes these little organic frozen treats for dogs, and you can actually start making those tonight. You can just like throw some chicken broth in some ice cube trays, and then just give them like little ice treats to chew on while the festivities are going on. So super yummy treats, something that maybe they don't normally get during this special fun time, right? Those are some good recommendations I have for you for keeping your dogs healthy and happy and safe this 4th of July and calm. Okay, let me know how it goes for you and what calming oil is your pet's favorite. And these also work really great for horses as well. You can just apply them topically. So my dog is getting sick right now. So he must have gotten into something. Carrie says she's been keto since January. That had to be fun. It was super fun. There was lots of super famous keto people there that are like have millions of followers on Instagram and Facebook. So it was pretty interesting and very definitely interesting for me. So Dawn says copaiba, turmeric, and frankincense for an 82-pound dog. How many drops of each and frequency? It kind of depends on what you're using it for. I usually start with a drop of each twice a day. You can give it up to 3-4 times a day. Those are all very safe oils. If you're using one that has the, you make sure it has the supplement facts on the bottle so that it's safe for internal use for sure. You guys make sure you're not using disease names in your questions. I cannot answer those on this public forum. Okay, it's not compliant. I can get in a lot of trouble. Okay, so here's one that a dog has trouble balancing and tips over. Definitely the grounding blend is my favorite for that. So the grounding blend and any of the calming. So lavender sometimes helps. The Restful blend. Cedarwood can sometimes help. And then making sure that they're getting enough supplementation. So omega-3s are really good. Anything that's good for brain health is going to be helpful. Making sure they're getting a good multivitamin. Acupuncture helps a ton in those cases, Jessica. So great question. Lisa says, I have paid to join the membership group, but still haven't been added. Lisa, make sure you go to the link in the group and answer the questions in there. If you just did that today, it usually takes 24 hours. My admin is actually, it doesn't work on Sundays, so she gets a day off. And so she'll usually add you within 24 hours. So if it's been longer than that, shoot me a private message and we'll try and figure out what happened. And I can send you the link directly to the group, which you should have gotten once you paid. So that's kind of how that works. And then you have to click on the group and add yourself and then answer the 3 questions in there. If you don't answer the questions, we can't add you. Mocha Bentley Har says, hi from Pennsylvania. Look at those cute puppies in your profile picture. I love it. So is there an essential oil for pets book that you recommend? Yes, I do recommend Spoil Your Pet by Mia Frezzo and Jan Jeremias. It's a great one. They also have an app, although it doesn't have all their recipes in it. So heads up on that, but it's only $5. It's not that expensive. The book is, I think, $14.99 or something like that on Amazon. And then Melissa Shelton is a veterinarian. She has her own brand of essential oils, and she is excellent. She has a book called ADR2. Make sure you're not getting the spiral bound animal desk reference. They have very similar names, but do not get a spiral bound animal desk reference. The recommendations in that book are super huge and scary. So please don't get that one. If you do get Melissa Shelton is the author. It's got a teal cover and it's the animal desk reference. So that one is more kind of in depth, like different protocols, things like that. So, but I really love Spoil Your Pet. It's a great one. Stacey Ingram also has one. I can't remember the title of it that just came out. And then Nyana Morag has Essential Oils for Animals, which is another good one. So lots of good books out there. Yeah. So Jody also is asking about pet accidents. I use the laundry detergent because it's enzyme based. I usually just use a couple of tablespoons, or you can use it as a spot cleaner and then just make sure you get all the soap out of it. And then I use vinegar and water as well as baking. You can also sprinkle some baking soda on here, which helps a lot. So I go through, I have tons of recipes in my membership group, you guys. You're going to love it. There's also a recipe class that I did with Essential Oils Academy. If you want access to those, you don't have to do them as a class. You can just get them for your own information. And that is essentialoilvet.com/EOA classes. That's the link for that one. So, oh my gosh, I'm definitely not going to get through all of these questions today. We've had so many. Yes. Okay. Michelle, I'm not sure what your question is. Okay, Shelly has a really good common question. So Shelly says, oils or supplements. I have a 4-pound, 11-year-old Chihuahua. She's hurt her leg a couple of times. She'll jump off my bed and not use her stairs. So these sassy things. So I definitely, for older dogs, I really like using a glucosamine and chondroitin supplement. I use one called New Joint DS. It's super great, even for those little guys. With such a small dog, you want to dilute it to at least 1%. But I really also like the massage blend. You can also do frankincense, copaiba, turmeric, all really, really good for joint support as far as the oils go. But as far as joint supplements, I really like the New Joint DS. It's a double strength one. So, okay. Manuela Hernandez says, I love chamomile. Oh, this is a really good one. Manuela says, what do you recommend to keep a multi-cat household happy? Okay, so there's a few things that you can do. This will be our last question for today. There's a few things you can do. You can diffuse calming oils. So we went through a lot of those during the first question that was asked here about calming and when I was talking about fireworks. Any of those, I really like using the grounding blend topically. So pat with the grounding blend, just pat them normally, put it on your hands, rub your hands together, pat them normally. That one is my not everyone's getting the long oil. And we also have a blend called Forgive that works really, really well. So, and the other big thing is making sure they all have their own places. So making sure there's lots of really good hiding spots in your house, lots of good, even setting up barriers so they can hide behind them, lots of boxes, things like that they can hide in. If you have however many cats you want to have that many litter boxes plus one. Okay, so if you have 3 cats in the house, you want at least 4 litter boxes. Try not to put them all in the same place because you want, some cats are really funny about not wanting to go potty when it smells like another cat. Okay, so depending on how many cats you have, that many litter boxes plus one. And but that's where I would go, is diffuse the calming oils, use the grounding blend topically, and then make sure you have enough places for them to go and hide, as well as number of litter boxes. All right, guys, I hope that helps. I'll see you guys next week. Have a happy 4th of July. Bye.